Side this morning. Western Mass News reporter Glenn Kittle joining us live with the very latest. Glenn.
Yeah, Chris, we're told all 16 people inside the home are safe and sound, and none of them have been displaced as a result of this fire. And fire investigators are crediting the quick actions from police officers who were patrolling the area for both apprehending the suspect and extinguishing part of that fire to keep damage to a minimum and potentially saving the lives of the people inside that home.
The cameras were going off, and when I looked on my phone, it was fire through the window.
One of the residents of this Union Street multifamily home in Springfield who wished to remain anonymous tells Western Mass News what she saw when waking up to a fire early Wednesday morning. She and her family still inside the home.
Take my kids out, all of them. I had a newborn in the house and two small ones.
Springfield police report around 2 a.m. officers were patrolling the Union Street area when the flames broke out. They witnessed a 16-year-old girl who is suspected of starting the fire standing next to a gas can. Springfield Fire Commissioner B.J. Calvi gives us more details on the initial response from police.
They immediately stopped, called it in, and tried to extinguish it with their fire extinguisher. While that was going on, they saw a person begin to flee the scene who was standing next to a gas can. They apprehended the suspect and detained them until arson and bomb squad investigators could get on scene, and then an arrest was made.
Springfield firefighters also helped to fight the flames. However, Calvi adds, if it weren't for the officers who were in the right place at the right time, the damage could have been worse.
It was fortunate they were patrolling in the area when the fire was being started. It really averted what could have been a major tragedy.
Now, due to the suspect being a minor, specific details on the charges placed on the suspect are unknown at this time, and the Springfield Arson and Bomb Squad is investigating this case. We'll continue to bring you the latest information on this as they enter our newsroom. But for right now, reporting live in Springfield, Glenn Kittle for Western Mass News.
Glenn, thank you.